Jagradev. Spiritual growth begins and ends with the inner flow of energy. All the techniques, all the outer rules, all lead to this. When the channels are clean and the centers are open, the Shakti goes up. The energy turns upward. If the Shakti were to go up inside of anybody, they would say it was the most wonderful experience they ever had. People do drugs to try and make energy go up. People like love because it opens the centers and makes the energy go up. Everything. People like succeeding and the praise of others because it opens you up and it makes the energy go up. People like the energy to go up. People bungee jump because somewhere's halfway down the Shakti flows. People do all kinds of things to get the energy flowing. It is the flowing of the energy that makes one feel alive, that makes life worth living, period. The problem with humankind is that they are more interested in what the external stimuli are that make the energy flow than they do in the energy flow itself. A yogi is no different than a normal being. A true absolute renunciate, an ascetic, is no different than a man of the world. The man of the world goes to Wall Street and gambles on the stock market and does these things because then if their stock goes up, their energy flows. If when the stock went up it made them depressed, they wouldn't do it. If a renunciate sits there and leaves something and walks away from something and renounces something and feels an upward liftment and purification of the energy, this is why they do that. They are both seeking the same thing. They're seeking the uplifting movement of the inner prana, of the spirit. The difference is that the being of the world has forgotten to notice what it is that's going on inside. They are looking at the external events that are causing the energy to move and then saying, I have to get these external events, I have to keep these external events, or if the external events cause a closing of the energy, then I have to stay away from these events. So without even noticing that what it is that they like is the energy flow, the result of the events, they put all of their will, their consciousness, and their energy on either creating, sustaining, or avoiding the external events. There's nothing wrong with this. Anyone who has ever taught you that there's something wrong with this doesn't know what they're talking about. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't work. If you put all of your attention outside in order to get people to love you, in order to get your finances the way they belong, in order to bungee jump, or whatever it is that makes your energy rush, you will come outside of yourself. And in doing so, you will have less of an inner experience, which is where the energy is, until eventually all of your energy and focus is on the stock market or sexual experiences or food or whatever it is, and you have no more of an inner experience. And people become very lost, and they have to find more and more things outside to try and get any sort of sensation inside, and this is when life becomes difficult and depressing and neurotic. So there's nothing wrong with it unless you want to be happy. That's all. You can do whatever you want. If you want to go find a rock and try to suck water from it, you shouldn't get arrested. A priest shouldn't come and yell at you. It's not wrong. You're just going to be very thirsty. It doesn't work. What does work is yoga. Yoga is the science, the teaching of the energy itself. A true yogi does not say there's anything wrong with the world. A yogi says that what you seek is inside. Everything you seek in the world is really inside. All the joy from family, all the joy from all the experiences, everything is really being experienced inside. Just notice, just take a look. When you feel love, you feel it inside. When you have high, exciting experiences, you feel them inside. So the yogi cheats. Yoga says, get it all for free. You want love? You have to go out and find someone to love you. Then you have to go out and make sure they love you. Then you have to go out there and win their heart. Then you have to make sure you take care of them. And everything has to happen just right so that person stays with you so you can get love. And the yogi says, wait a minute. The love I felt is inside. Why don't I just take the money and run? Why don't I just get filled with love all the time, no matter what anybody does, whether they like me or hate me, whether they love me or disdain me? Why don't I just get filled with love, regardless of what's going on outside, since love is inside? And yoga does that with everything. And what the great masters have found out is that you're allowed to do this, that this really works, that there really is no relationship, none whatsoever, between the outside world and your inner energy. The only relationship is the one your mind makes. If your mind says, if she comes up to me and says that she likes me, it will make me so happy, then if she comes up to you and says she likes you, it will make your energy flow. But you did that. If instead your mind said, if she comes up to me, I swear to God I won't know what to say, I'll be so nervous, then when she comes up, you'll be so nervous. If it comes up and says, if she walks away and doesn't see me, what a relief. I'll be so happy, it will make my day. And if she walks away and doesn't see you, you'll get just as happy as before when she walked up and saw you. And don't you dare doubt it. There is nothing going on if she or he walks towards you or away from you. There's nothing out there. There's nothing happening. It is just that your mind is creating a link between the experience of the senses and the energy flow. Yoga teaches you to break that link. Yoga says, why are you doing that? Why can't you just as well, if you need to begin with, say with your mind, if she comes toward me, I'm going to get filled with love. If she goes away from me, I'm going to get filled with love. If she stays right where she is, I'm going to be so excited. Guess what? You get excited. All the time. Who said you can't do that? Why do you have to set up these rules, conditions, that only if things outside are a certain way will you be okay inside? So it's like Einstein. He broke all the rules of Newton. He just obliterated all of Newtonian physics by changing the rules, the underlying rules. Yoga does the same thing. It says you can be always okay, and do not ever let anyone tell you otherwise. There are no ups and downs. Your mind is causing that. There's only up. Yogananda called it ever new joy. It just goes up and up and up and up and up, then what? And up and up and then what? And up and up. It just keeps going. It can just go up and up and up. Why does it have to come down? Why do there have to be problems? Why do there have to be fears? Why do there have to be insecurities? Why do there have to be self-consciousnesses? Who said there had to be these things? You did. You within your mind set those conditions. And then whatever happens outside affects your Shakti flow. The trouble is you did it so good that you believe it. You believe it absolutely. You believe that if this person says you did good, you won't feel insecure. And if the person says you didn't do good, you'll feel terribly insecure and it'll bother you for the rest of the day. Great. You better hope the person says the right thing. Now, not only do you have to hope the person says the right thing, you have to make sure the person says the right thing. Now that person owns you. You have to dress a certain way, don't you? You have to make sure that everything comes out exactly right. You have to make sure that everything you say is right. You don't ever want to say the wrong thing, do you? What happens if you say the wrong thing? Whoa. You suffer for the rest of the day. Your mind sits there and says, why did I say that? Oh, if I only hadn't said that. She'd really like me if I hadn't said that. That's what your mind does, isn't it? Why are you doing that? Who said there was a right thing to say? Who said there was a wrong thing to say? Who said you have to own everybody and make them look at you a certain way? Who created that condition which creates all of this neurosis? Because that's what causes your suffering. The yogi is the one who says, my Shakti flow is inside. It is inside of me. If I close my eyes, it's still there. No matter what. I have my prana, I have my Shakti, I have my spirit. Let me work with that. Let me learn to keep that up. Let me learn to raise that within myself. And what you find is you start to become a student of the energy flow. And that is the science of yoga, is the study of that inner energy flow. But it's very easy. You don't have to have a nuclear physics degree to understand your own Shakti. What you will find is, one, that there are times it flows and there are times it doesn't. There are times you feel absolutely elated, filled with energy, and there are times you feel completely lethargic and totally depressed. Ever notice? Okay? You start watching this. It's very easy. Just watch. You don't have to read a book. Don't read a book. Just watch. You are your own book. And what you will see is that depending on what happens outside of you, you either open or close. And if you open, and you know what that feels like, if you open, your energy flows nicely. and you feel very good. And if you close, your energy stops flowing, and you can't think, you get all spacey. Sometimes even your heart hurts when your energy stops flowing, doesn't it? And sometimes you get all this tension and real tightness in your solar plexus area. And you start to notice that the energy gets blocked at different centers within your being. These are chakras. These are your energy centers. If they are open, your energy flows. If they are closed, it does not flow. If it flows, you're happy. If it doesn't, you're miserable. And it has nothing to do with anything or anyone outside. It has to do with your energy centers. The mind will not believe this until it learns it for itself. Basically, what you then learn to do is start to notice what opens and closes your energy centers. And you will find that success, positive, reward, people being proud of you, all this kind of stuff, open your centers. You will find that criticism, fear, any sort of put down really closes your centers. Even the thought that somebody might not be pleased with what you did or said, bam, you're closed. You start to notice this. Most people accept that as the gospel, that this is how it has to be. And since it has to be this way, let's make sure that I please them. Listen to me, because this is the crux of it. So they spend all of their energy, all of their will, manipulating people's behavior, thoughts, and all this stuff so that they can get rewarding experiences. They put all their energy out here to manipulate and create a life that helps keep them open. As opposed to what a yogi does. A yogi says, this person came up and is dissatisfied with what I cooked tonight. Look how much it's closing me. Good. Good. Not defend, not throw it away and cook it over again, not be all neurotic and nervous and all this. It's like, here's what happened with the cooking, guys. There it is. How do you know that's what happened? There it is. It's on the table. All right? And everyone on the table is spitting it out. And nobody can eat it in any way, shape, or form. It's a terrible experience. And you notice that your chakras are closing. You notice that your heart starts hurting. You notice that your mind starts wanting to actually say something, like little comments like, that new oven, I'll just have to get used to those new pans, whatever it is. Just something to do what? To make it a little easier, to get a little gentler, to defend and protect, to somehow buffer the energy that is closing inside of you so that you can be more open. The yogi don't want to do that. The yogi is experimenting. Oh, what a good experiment. They don't spit the food out every night. This is very interesting. Let's see what's going on in the chakras, in my energy centers, when that situation's going on outside. And what you will see is they are closing. And now if you stay conscious, you can actually ask, why? Why are they closing? Why is everything closing inside? Because this particular situation is taking place outside. It's just another situation. There's all kinds of situations. Can you imagine how many situations are going on every moment throughout this whole planet? Not to mention the whole universe. And you're going to sit there and freak out over one stupid situation? So basically you start to watch. Why can't the center stay open when this situation is taking place? And you will see that it's not the situation. There's not like bad energy coming off that situation, closing your centers. It's you. Your mind is doing it. Your mind has defined this as a bad thing. And therefore the mind has closed down in the same way as a turtle pulls in when you go by because it's scared of you. The mind is scared. The mind is completely conditioned into right and wrong and good and bad and all this kind of stuff. And it has a model of how things are supposed to be. And it doesn't include everyone spitting your food out. That doesn't fit the model at all. So when the mind sees that something has happened that does not fit its preconceived notion, it goes into protection mode, just like an animal runs away when it hears a sound. and it goes into protection mode, it's not sociologically acceptable that if that happens, that you get up and start crying and run away. And the deer can do it when it hears you crack a stick, but you don't get to do it at the office or at the dining room table. So what you do is run away inside. But it's the same reaction. It's fear. And so the mind closes down by shutting the chakras, by shutting the receptive centers so that you can hide back inside. And then all sorts of energy changes happen inside. So it is the mind that holds the key to keeping the centers open. And this is why yoga and many different teachings teach that you should work with your mind. How does one work with their mind? You watch. All right? You say, oh mind, what is wrong with this? And your heart will start to go, what is wrong with this? They don't like my food. And it'll start to go like that. But you stay centered. Stay conscious. Just be there. Watch it do that. And say, oh mind, I think this is funny. It's okay. Redefine it. You're sitting on a planet spinning around the middle of nowheres. What's the big deal? Day after day takes place, one after the other, until you die. This is just what happened at this moment in this day. What's the big deal? Are you going to decide to live your life and just experience the unfolding of the day-to-day moments of your life? Or are you going to decide how life is supposed to be and then attempt to manipulate everybody and everything so that they match what you decided? Because if you do, you're going to go crazy. That's why you got in the situation of closing these centers. That's why people suffer. People suffer because they defined how they want it to be within their mind, and when anything else happens, the mind goes crazy. And when the mind goes crazy, it shuts down the centers, you go into depression, you go into neurosis, and even if the thing doesn't go wrong, your mind has to worry that it's going to go wrong. All the time. Constantly trying to figure out what it should do, what it should say, where it should go, why did it say this, why is it doing that? Because it knows how it wants it to be, and now it has to figure out how to get it that way. You will never ever be happy. Even if you get it that way, you will not be happy. Because it will never stay that way, and you will have to worry about it changing at all times, and you will go through these cycles of up and down. So yoga says, stop doing that with your mind. Stop doing what? Stop building models. Stop saying that you know how you want it to be. There are no problems except that you get depressed. There are no problems except that you can't keep your energy flowing. Once you keep your energy flowing, you're absolutely fine. And if you can be fine all the time, what can be better than that? So why are you defining these things? You will find that if you clear your mind of these preconceived notions and you live life, that your energy flow will harmonize with life. It will harmonize with the natural unfoldment of what is taking place outside of you. You will come in tune with the Tao, with the Dharma. There will not be these confusions and tensions and disturbances and indecisions. No, even in the modern world. You do not have to have those. It doesn't matter how fast it goes, you can be fine. How do you know it's going so fast? Because you defined how you want it to be, and now it's going so fast you can't control it all. And that's when it looks like it's, everybody say my life's out of control? It is not. It's just life. The planet's spinning, the rain is falling, the atoms are bonding. It's not out of control. It's fine. It's out of your control. There's no question about that. In other words, it's going too fast for you to be able to hold it together in accordance to your figuring out how everything's supposed to be and how it's supposed to unfold. Yoga says, let it go. Let it go. Live your life. Let life unfold. Everything outside of you, life, is God's creation. Life is God made visible. This is frozen God, Yogananda used to say. This is frozen spirit outside of you. It's doing a dance of its own. It's been doing a dance for billions of years. It is what it is. It is God's creation. And there are all sorts of things. There are rainy days and sunny days. There are nice people, there are mean people. They're all frozen God. They are all the expressions of the divine. Why can't you each day wake up, be filled with joy and awe and love, let the day unfold, participate in it to the best of your ability, Be the best mother, be the best student, be the best worker, be the best anything. Whatever is brought before you, for absolutely no reason at all, other than that's what's there, what else are you going to do? Your only option is to get caught in your mind, figuring out what you'd rather do, or worrying about what else could happen. You do not need to do that. So if you want to grow, you work with your mind not to stop it, not to fight with it, not to gain powers, but only to stop building those models of how it's supposed to be. You do not know what will make you happy. And if you are going up there asking your neurotic mind that has already proved to you 6 billion times during your life that it doesn't have the slightest idea what it's talking about, it says one thing one minute, then another thing another minute, then it agrees with that and disagrees with that, it's funny. Why are you going there for your advisor? Stop it. Just let it go. Everything the mind says, let it go. Everything. Just let it go. Don't even listen to it. Just let it go. Say Om. Better to listen to Om than to listen to that neurosis. There's the power of mantra. The power of mantra doesn't have to be what the mantra does. It's that you're not listening to the rest. Because there's not a thing that the rest is going to do for you. If you will do that, you will find that the outside affects the inside less. That you're able to literally have someone come up to you and criticize you and not freak. And literally sit there and let them criticize to you and watch your tendencies to close and yet don't, and let them come up and then let them walk away. You can see if any of it has any meaning or not, and the next time you meet them, you're not even scared. How would you like that? You don't have to be afraid to see them again. You don't have to hide around the corner till they walk by because you don't want to get criticized again. It can get so crazy. Or it can be completely free. You can be completely free. Just wake up in the morning filled with love and enthusiasm. Let the entire day unfold however it does. Like a little kid jump into bed at night and giggle and put your head down. You'll fall asleep just like that. Not a single thought in your mind. And then when you wake up again, it's time to do it again. And you have no idea what's going to happen that day. And you have no idea what's going to unfold. And that's that. And one day you'll go to sleep and you won't wake up, and that's that. And you will have had a fun time. There's nothing going on here. You're not taking anything with you. It doesn't matter who you impress. It doesn't matter how much money you build up. Someday you're leaving. And you ain't taking the money, and you ain't taking the people, and you ain't taking anything. And 100 years from now, they won't even know you ever walked the face of this earth. It's so simple if you will just not build those models. There's a saying, I always say it to you, it's my favorite saying. You know, that third Zen patriarch saying, the Buddhist patriarch, right? It says, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. It's that easy. Stop defining anything as better than anything else. The only reason you say that rich is better than poor is because you have convinced yourself that being rich will make your energy flow better. Otherwise, it's completely irrelevant. There are great beings that have lived in complete rubble and have been in ecstasy every moment of their lives. Are you in ecstasy every moment of your life? You think the rich people are in ecstasy every moment of their lives? They're more neurotic than anybody. The outer situations do not define happiness. It is the flow of the energy that determines how well you're doing. If you have a choice between money, love, anything, or a flow of energy, an upward, uplifting, constant flow of energy, my God, take the energy. That's the only reason you want the love. That's the only reason you want the money. If somebody said to you, here, I'm going to give you $5 million, and God gave you a choice. Here's $5 million, no strings attached. It's all yours, signed over. Nobody, you don't owe it to anybody. You can do anything you want with it. There it is. All right? And you will be absolutely miserable for the rest of your life. You will never ever feel another rush come up through your heart. You will never have another exciting, enthusiastic energy flow pass through you, but you can have $5 million to go do whatever you want with. Or you can be absolutely poor, you wouldn't even know where your next penny is coming from, but you'll be so ecstatic that you don't even know it. Which one you want, huh? I want to know. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. What does it matter? How can you measure that? How can you do anything like that? You're not here to impress anybody. You're not here to win any awards. You're living your life. And life should be a joyful experience. And the only time it can truly be joyful is when these energy centers are clean and clear. And the only way they're going to get clean and clear is when you remove the blockages, like we said. Who put the blockages there? You did. You put them there with all these scars and pains that you have because of your mind resisting life. If you resist life with your will and your mind, it creates some samskara, an impression, because of the resistance. And that stays within you and blocks your energy centers. And it causes suffering and pain. So don't do it. You understand? You cannot do it. Try it sometime. Say to yourself, I will be fine. The day you're going to be fine, and when you say it, I want it written down in your mind. You should remember the day you take the only vow that matters. From this day forward, for the rest of my life, no matter what happens, I'm keeping my head up, and my eyes aimed up, and my heart open, and all my centers open. No matter what it is, I will never succumb to the downward flow of the energy. I will always breathe it up, bring it up, and let go of whatever the mind is doing. You take that vow, and then for the rest of your life, you're fine. You measure success in how well you do with that, not in your children, in your marriages, and your money, and your place in society. You let me know, how long has it been before you went down? Because you don't ever have to go down. It can be fun every moment of your life, every day, and don't let anyone ever tell you different. And if you're not experiencing it, it's your fault, no one else's. Don't tell me about your problems with your marriage or with your money or with this. Those are not problems. Those are just growth situations. They're just situations that you get to experience. They're the dream that God is having around you. You're sitting in the mind of God. Here it is. And He's dreaming right around you. There are no problems. Remember that. There are no problems. So this is your work. This is the power of yoga. Is the teaching of all the great masters. You do not have to suffer. And no one owns you. You're not here to beg for love, and beg for success, and beg for someone to treat you nicely, and beg for a raise, or beg for this situation. You're something very, very great. What is inside of you is eternal, is tremendous, is higher than anything on this earth. You're a very great being. You just have to be willing to go there, to put your energy there. Jagrata.